I don't want to take over Sheffield, said my next guest, Linda Stringer. Right? Just one problem, I replied. Winning instructions and closing deals at the rate you're doing, I don't think you've got a choice. Now, the flavour through social media Linda is bringing to this industry is designed to attract the right type of client for her, right? Now, built into her offer to sell someone's home is authority. Said differently, sellers are gaining a large following via her social media of buyers who trust exactly what she's saying in an otherwise negative reputation industry. In other words, she's giving her clients loads of gold. In 10 seconds. Yeah, to get what you need. Yeah, fine. So, Linda, what is the one thing that truly maximizes the value of someone's home when they go to sell their property?
For me, I think it's about audience reach. It's about casting the net as wide as possible, getting it out there to as many people as possible to find the right buyer.
And that's it. That is right. So in terms of like casting that net, are we talking marketing? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, but so like some of the like big companies, I think are missing a massive trick with the social media side of things. So it's not just about putting it on Rightmove and then hoping for the best. It's about getting it out there to the masses to get as many people there to then obviously get the better price for the client and just get that reach out there. I've sold, I think it's about 8 now from my Facebook and Instagram videos. So, and
Really?
for me, for them, that 8 properties, and that's not just in the good times as well. That's one I did one about 3 months ago. So the clients that I've now got, or the audience reach that I've now got, is massive because people are sat waiting, thinking, "Oh my God, what's coming next? What's coming next?" And then if that property comes to market next, and it's what they want, that client ends up getting an absolutely amazing price because the buyer doesn't want to take it to market, and the buyer ends up getting the property that they want because they're not taking it to market. So it works out a treat for both. But I don't think a lot of especially the big people, the big high street agencies and things, I don't think they maximize the social media side of things at all.
Why would you say that is, do you think?
Because it's all not personal, isn't it? Like they've got to, like when I was in corporate, I took charge of it for our branch, but so our branch was like really good, but then there were other branches that nobody wanted to take charge of it, so nobody did it, or it was like from a centralized sort of team down wherever it might be, and they don't know the different areas and what's going on in those places, so it then doesn't become real, does it? It's not personal. It just doesn't work.
So are you saying then, from the perspective of social media and having a large following, effectively is creating a situation where sellers want to deal with you, and buyers that are seeing your property also trust you, like how you're coming across, and also prepared to listen to what you're saying?
Absolutely. Honestly, the amount of people feel like a little celebrity sometimes. The amount of people that have said to me, like before I've even got to the valuation, I get there and then they're like, "Oh my God, I feel like I know you already," which is exactly what I want. And also for the buyers, when I've opened the door and said, "Hi, my name's Linda. I don't live here. I'm just showing you around the house," and they're like, I know who you are." Well, so it's really, really nice. And yeah, that trust element is the massive thing, isn't it? So for me, the social media, well, when I first started out anyway, basically, I got no money. So it were all about what can I utilize to get the maximum exposure for my properties. So that's what I've used.
Did it take you? I know you said you did it before with like the corporate and stuff, but does it take guts to get on camera?
Yeah, it does. But if I told you that when I went for my training, when I worked at the corporate, and at a room of 200 estate agents that all got told they've got to do video, I was the one that cried and said, "I'm not doing it." I absolutely threw my toys out the pram. I said, "I'm not doing it. It's not part of my role. It went what I was signed up for because I was the last person on earth that wanted to be on camera." So I have had to massively get over myself, get on camera and do it because it's not about me. It's about people wanting to know, like, it's nice to know that people know who I am, but it's about the house and it's about getting that exposure for my clients. So as long as people know who I am, can't really miss me anyway. But like as long as people know who I am, and then show the property to its absolute best, then that's what's going to get, like I said, that gets the audience reach there for people, for me.
Now that's amazing. I think what you just said then, it's not about you. It's about getting your client's property to market and being seen in its best light. And that's the overall mission, effectively, is what you're saying, is that overrides your own fear of getting on camera. Can you, I don't know, talk to us a little bit more around like some examples of these people that have come to you via social media?
Oh my God, it's amazing how many people are actually watching you and following you. Like, so now obviously there's TikTok. I know you're like massive on TikTok. I'm still building my TikTok, so I'm not quite as good on that as the others. But like, I've had people come to me from Instagram, from Facebook, from those, and LinkedIn as well, from those social media sites. And they've said, "Oh, we've been watching you for ages. Oh, we've been following you for ages." And like, it's just mad how many people are watching you from afar. And that's why it's so important for me. It's one thing that I've been incredibly consistent on, even if I've got nothing to talk about, which I've always got something to talk about. But even if I've got nothing to talk about, I want to post something on my social media channels. And people always tend to say to me, like, "Oh my God, Linda, you're so busy." And sometimes I'm not that busy.
Yeah.
But it comes across as I am busy. So.
And I think that's so important, right? Because if, let's say, for example, if you stuck you in a room with another two agents with your social media following and they don't have a social media following, with the way that you come across, and of course, they don't have a chance to come across online. So they're not talking, they're talking one to one, you're talking one to many. You, through the authority of having an online platform, would win the conversation, no doubt, with sellers because of the authority you've got and now the status that you will give the seller, right? But imagine now that you're standing in a room with Phil Spence, and despite your social media following, who wins the conversation? Who wins the instruction?
Well, if it was up against Phil Spence, then, well, I think I'd probably list with Phil Spencer instead of me. So probably win that one.
No, but here's the reason I said that was because, look, despite my social media following, yeah, great. Phil Spence would kick my ass and he knows nothing about my area, but he would kick my ass. And the reason why, and this is the reason I brought this up, is so important what you've said, is because ultimately you aren't just sticking a property on Rightmove, as you said earlier. You're creating a community of people that know, like, and trust you. So when you need people to sing to your tune, i.e., and it's truthful, it's coming from a place of transparency, they will do it in an otherwise negative reputation industry where estate agents aren't trusted, which is why I think what you're doing is genius.
Well, I put a story up because I was obviously going through the transaction is the hardest part. So it's all well and good getting the sale, but it's got to go through, hasn't it? Honestly, these couple of sales that went through this week, I can't even tell you the level of heartache that has gone into these two transactions. How I've kept it together, I do not know. Anyway, so I put a little story. I always like to do a little story, and it then it's not just about the house. Then it's about the people and their next chapter, and then moving on. And then my client actually commented on the post, and I can't get any better feedback for all of my community to see than that. Because she were like, "Honestly, Linda, if it weren't for you, it wouldn't have happened." And like that's somebody completely and utterly singing my praises on my post because she wanted to and she can. So it's absolutely invaluable for me.
But why do you care so much about getting a property seen in its best light? Or why do you care so much about your client?
Because they've chosen me to sell their biggest asset. And if I don't do a good job, it's not difficult for somebody to say, "Oh yeah, that Linda Stringer, she's not very good, is she?" I can't have that. That's my name. It's so important to me. It's my business, my integrity. I want to make sure that house, no matter what that house is shown to its absolute best light. And they've had all the best advice that I can possibly give. And I'll, sometimes I'll hold my hands up and say, "Oh, do you know what? I can't help with that." But I will always find a solution. That's the biggest thing. You've just got to. I do care. I really care about my clients because I don't want anyone to ever say that Linda, she's crap. You don't want that.
No, absolutely. When did you make the transition then from working in corporate to working self-employed?
So I took the transition just over 3 years ago. So it was August 2020.
Hmm.
Absolutely best decision I ever made. Just means that I've got my time. I've got a couple of dogs. I love to go out with them, and I never did it to change the world. I'm not here to change the world, and I do not want to take over Sheffield. I don't want to take over Rotherham. I just want to do a really good job for each of my clients and help them move, and that's it. I don't want to yeah, do anything else. I just want to do a good job, and that's it. And I can now do that how I want to do it, which I couldn't do before.
And I think that's a huge plus, by the way. And probably the fact that you've said that you don't want that to happen is probably the reason it is happening and going to happen, because you're getting the reviews you're getting. Because it's not about KPIs and how many of instructions have you been on, evaluations have you been on, how many of those did you get instructed on, how many viewings have you been on, how many offers have you got, what did you say to the seller that basically hasn't meant that they didn't accept the offer, and all of that. So you're talking from a perspective of dealing with people on a one-on-one basis, on a personable level, as opposed to viewing them as a KPI. Would that be fair?
Yeah, that's very fair. I can't even. So now it's Friday afternoon, isn't it? And on a Friday afternoon, it was KPIs. So if I didn't put them listings on and live on that day, on that Friday, then I wouldn't have reached my target. I can't even tell you how amazing it feels to not do any of that. And then
Mm,
I'd start making mistakes or I'd do something wrong, and then it'd go live on Rightmove, and then it was wrong, and I was like,
mm,
"What? This is just not. This is not good. This is not right." So
mm.
now it's a case of like I can take my time, I can do things right, and I can get it how I want it. And for me as well, it is always about that right buyer. If you don't find that right buyer, like again, it happened before. So it would come to Friday, we've not got enough sales in the office, and it'd be like, right, who's had an offer? Let's work on that offer. Mm, is that the right thing to do though? Because if we've got to work on that offer and then it gets accepted, and then guess what? 3 weeks down the line, they see something else, and then the sale falls through. So what is the point? Like, find the right buyer that's going to see the transaction through, that's going to give you the right price and all the rest of it that goes with that. But it's all about finding that right buyer. And you can't do that if you're trying to reach a target or get a KPI. It's not about that.
Yeah, no, totally. We had and I've often said this on the podcast, but one of my second boss, him and he's another director, they said to me when I become a sales manager in that office, they were like, John, always go for the second sale. Imagine that. Imagine the bosses of an office saying, always go for the second sale. That massively resonated with me because I was never trying to win all the instructions. I was, of course, you're working out whether a seller would actually make me ill or actually there's somebody I could work with. And so the fact that they gave me license to go for the second sale meant I never had to bullshit. I never had to worry about getting there Monday morning and being put in front of a regional manager to explain to him or her why I've not actually got the amount of instructions they've targeted me with. And that's a difference. And I'm seeing a huge shift from a lot of elite level agents working within businesses deciding actually that they're going to be an elite level agent for themselves. Are you seeing something similar with EXP? A lot of people coming across.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, for us going, even the Sheffield crew that we've got going out last night, and it's just there's no competition amongst us. Even though each one of us in Sheffield has had a house on the same street as one of the others. It's just so happened that there's a Luke board, there's a Linda board, somebody else has got a board. It doesn't matter. It's about because everyone's got their own clients, and that's the
Mm.
bit that I went to one of my houses the other day, and they'd been touted twice actually by my previous employer. And they'd like the door knocked it twice and left a little note and everything. So I did put it on my story and say, "Sorry guys, this one's sold." But I just think back to those times, and I just think, oh my God, like I don't want somebody's as awful as it sounds, like I want people to come to me and want to work with me. I don't want to go and try and get
Mm.
again, I'm not that aggressive. Like if you want to work with me, then come and work with me and I can help you. If you don't, then I've had to learn that not everyone's your client, are they? Not everyone's your
Mm.
client.
Nah, totally. Run me through your hat.
I've got loads of hats. Do you know how that happened as well? Honestly, because obviously I've got to go on video, and if you notice, I only ever go on the beginning at the end. Again, I just want people to know who I am. It's all about the house. But one day I was like, oh my God, I've got to do this video, and I've got proper roots. So I was like, and I'm proper grey as well. So I was like, right, that's it. I'm just gonna have to get a hat. Well, I put my hat on and I did the reel or whatever it were, and it got absolutely loads of traction. I was like, oh, what's this? I'm onto some here. So then it's just become my thing. And then even one of my clients bought me as a gift a new hat. So I'm like, oh, this is amazing. So I've just got a full array of hats now. Although I can never have too many hats, I don't think.
Do you wear them on valuations?
No, I don't wear them on valuations unless I need my roots doing. But usually it's just for the videos, usually.
No, honestly, it's wicked because it's almost become your signature. Do you know what I mean? It's just like I recognize it straight away, and I don't even have to wonder, well, what's this video about? I just know instantly who you are again and again and again. I think, and honestly, I think what you're saying is so refreshing. The amount of agents I've spoken to, and I've said, guys, man, if you've either got something to say, if you are, let's say, like what you are, the way you come across, very professional, very elegant, very to the point. Here's my property. Here's what I've got. I'm obviously, my videos are all talking. Yeah. Someone may be a complete bullshitter, but it's like, even if you are a complete bullshitter, why are you not getting on video to talk about? Because there will be a seller out there that would love your bullshit, that would love to hire you as an agent. If you're a dirty, stinking, horrible charlatan, there'll be a seller out there for you. So why are you trying to get the sellers that want the truth and transparency? Why would you do that? That's not you. So don't be try to be something you're not. If you're a cheat, you're a bloody cheat. Simple. So I think when I've been speaking to these agents, a lot of them go, oh, no, I couldn't do that. I couldn't do that. And I'm like thinking, I watch your videos. I watch Simon Taylor's videos. I see Perry Power's videos. Do you know what I mean? I see other people's videos. Scott Gunn, who you know, EXP, etc. And I see his videos on LinkedIn. I'm like, it's creating a community of people that know, like, and trust them. Why are you not doing it? So to hear you say it's your videos that are actually doing a phenomenal job, to hear that, no one else has actually said that so far. People have spoken about marketing, but they've not spoken directly about actually their social media creating a personality within the community. Do you know what I mean? An authority within the community. Are your videos different from your LinkedIn and your Instagram and your TikTok? Are they different?
Yeah. So I don't tend to put a lot on LinkedIn, if I'm honest, because I just think there's that whole, like, I could probably do a bit of a moan on LinkedIn if anything, but like there's a lot of bleating about coming and joining EXP and all that kind of stuff. Like, again, obviously it's an amazing self-employed model. I'm here. Do you know what I mean? I love it. But I think you can just get really diluted by saying the same thing over and over again. So, and I also find that my audiences on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook and LinkedIn are all different people. So they're not the same. Like, I can't put a Facebook post. It's very rare that I post between the two, because the Facebook people are different to the Instagram people. The Instagram people are different to the TikTok people. So you can't just put like one thing out and hope that it sticks. You've got to do a little bit different, I think.
And your advice to agents that refuse point blank to do video, what would you, if there's anybody out there that's thinking, oh man, going back to your story of being the person that cried your eyes out and you didn't want to do it, you're 200 people deep, you're like, no, making all the excuses. Now you're doing really well, really successful. What advice would you give?
I just don't think you need to overthink it. Like I keep saying, I'm on at the beginning, I'm on at the end. It doesn't need to be like country file or whatever do you know what I mean? You don't have to be some amazing presenter. You just have to show your personality, because that's no good either. You don't want to just go on camera and just be like you're not very good at it. Like, you just have to practice and just put yourself out there at the beginning, at the end, or even just at the beginning or just at the end. It doesn't matter. Just put yourself out there, because people do want to know who you are. They want to know who that face is. It's all well and good having these amazing like property videos and they look fantastic. Well, who's selling it? Do you know what I mean? You just need to be, and just get over yourself and just get on it. If I can do it after crying in front of 200 people, then anybody can do it. Just get on it. Just do it.
Yeah. And the result is that you are not just liked, they don't just like the way that you think, you're also trusted as a trusted advisor, ultimately, which is going to benefit the client overall, because at least you're able to mold and shape someone's viewpoint, not negatively, but doing it for the right reasons. If you are suddenly taking over Sheffield, which I wouldn't put past you, by the way, but if you're taking over Sheffield, what are you going to do?
I'm not going to take over Sheffield. For me for next year, I'm going to concentrate obviously on my clients that I want to work with, but equally there's me, Luke, and Rachel that are trying to. I think I can't get my words out. I think in estate agent side, there's so much competition from when you worked in the corporate world that for us now to be in this, like, we're not in competition, we are collaborating between us. So we're doing some networking and things like that and collaborating and getting estate agents hopefully to get together and stop being so ridiculous and in competition with each other. There's enough clients out there for everyone. There's enough business out there for everyone. So why don't I don't understand why we don't work better well together in order to help the client move. So that for me is a bit of a focus for next year and for us three to move it forward. It's called the property exchange. So we're hoping to try and get some more collaboration amongst agents. And I don't know what I need to do next. Like, obviously I've got my hats, haven't I? So like, do I get another prop? I just don't know. I don't know how to switch it up. You've just got to keep ahead, haven't you? Just get switching it up a little bit each time.
Yeah, do you know what? That is very true. That is very true. But equally at the same time, I think in terms of switching it up, it could be a slightly different direction as you guys are actually going in, which is more about collaboration between agents. I think that is so important. Unfortunately, most agents will believe that they are in a bubble of one, and that one is only them. And they will see competition, but they don't recognize the competition. Whereas I'm obviously of the opinion, it doesn't matter to me. I embrace competition because ultimately I've got my sellers' interests more than my own. And if there can be some collaboration between agents, or if I'm actually passing a lead across to someone, it doesn't matter to me which agent I give it to, brand. But of course, I have to know that that person's elite at what they do. And then I would absolutely give it to somebody else in a different area that I just don't operate in. Because why would I keep it? I don't know the area. So I'm just mugging.
You're not going to do the best for the client, are you? So you're better off doing that and sending it somewhere else. Like, there's too many people are just too greedy. Like, just think about the client instead of just thinking about yourself. And if that client's going to get an amazing service because that person knows the area, then that's who it needs to be on the market with.
Absolutely. Linda Stringer, you've been absolutely amazing on this podcast. Honestly, I'm so glad I've actually got to interview you. This is fucking brilliant. So thank you so much for coming on.
No problem at all. Thanks for having me.
Wicked, mate. End of podcast.